Hey, it's Rob from Kickass. We are working on a Honda. That's right. This is a 2022 Honda Pilot, and man, it is pretty smooth. This thing is really nice. So we're gonna do some maintenance on this. It's got some codes on the dash. We're gonna talk about those, explain you what's going on with those. If you have a Honda, this will help you out, telling you what to do when you see all these numbers and letters on the dash, and you're like, what the hell is this? So stick around. We'll get to doing a little Honda maintenance. Hi from inside the Honda Pilot. So you can see it's telling me to put my seatbelt on. I don't want to put my seatbelt on. So when you jump in, you hit the button. It's got a cool little light show. All kinds of fun stuff happens. Tells me my hood's open. I know my hood's open. I opened it. All right. So this is what we're going to look at. B127. B127? What the hell's that mean? Well, I'm going to show you. If you got a Honda, it comes with one of these usually. I recommend anybody that buys a brand new car, I don't care who you are, actually sit in the car, pull this book out, and play with all the stuff in your car. I guarantee you there's probably functions in your car that you have never known existed and you did not know they were there. A lot of stuff is in this book right here. So what you do is when you have a Honda, it'll be like, hey, go to this thing. It's usually in the back. I'll find it. So I got ninja Honda skills. Shot. And it's usually right towards the back here. Honda will give you, oh, look at that. You'll have this maintenance little thing. It says maintenance. So here we go. As you can see here, we got B. So A is oil change. And then B is replace engine oil, oil filter. This is cool. Most people don't see this. So when I worked at Honda, there's an agreement with Honda to service all the American Honda employees' cars. So they would send their cars over and we would just change the oil on them. We wouldn't change the filter because it even says it in here. Right here it says, when the A pops up, it just says just replace oil. It doesn't say the filter. I don't know why I say that, but that's what we would do for Honda. We would never put a filter on it. We would just do oil. So B is replace engine oil and oil filter. Inspect front and rear brakes. Check parking brake adjustment. You don't really need to do that anymore. It's electronic. Oh, no, this one's not electronic. I take that back. This one's not electronic. So yes, it does need to be adjusted. So I was wondering, like, why did they even put that in here? That's crazy. Most cars have electronic brakes. That one has a foot one. Inspect brake hoses and lines, including ABS, VSA. Inspect all fluids, levels, conditions, and fluids. Inspect exhaust system. It's pretty much an oil change, filter change, and check the car. That's pretty much what B is. And then you go to the next numbers. So we got a B, and then we have a, what is it? It's a B127. So 1 is rotate tires, and then 2 is replace air filter and pollen filter. Sorry, that's my phone going off. Okay, so 2 is replace air cleaner, elements, and dust pollen filter. So that's the air filter out there, and there's a pollen filter in here. We're going to show you that. And 7, so there's a 7 up there. Yeah, so the 7 is replace brake fluid. So we're going to replace the brake fluid. But yeah, so before you people freak out and I don't know what to do, pull out your owner's manual and look in it. It'll tell you right there. All right, so let's get started on these filters. We'll get these cabin filter in, we'll get the air filter in, and let's go do that right now. This car is really nice. Welcome to the spooky glove box. No, anyways, so the cabin filter is pretty easy on this one. Honda actually, over the years, have made it easier and easier. The earlier Odysseys and stuff like that, you had to cut all kinds of shit off, and it was just a big pain in the butt. Now, check this out. So pretty much, you open the glove box, there's kind of like a cutaway right here. Yeah, it's like cuts. That's so you can pull this side piece in and get that clip that's up there. Okay, yeah, right here. All you're doing is you're bending that so it comes down on both sides. Instead of paying a bunch of money at the dealership for them to put this in, they're like, yeah, it's 3/10 or whatever. But you do that, and then there's a little door in here. And you just pinch both the sides, and you pull a bunch of dirty. Yeah, what is that? That's not good. Yeah. Get that out. Comes out a little tray. So it's got these tabs. All you're doing is you're squeezing these tabs and pulling it out. And you can see it says airflow right here on the top. And then your filter should have arrows on it right here that says a certain direction. So pretty much you just mark up the airflow with the ones on your filter and you slap it in there. Oh, then you realize the auto parts store gave you the wrong filter. Wow, come on, really? This one's actually not that bad. I'm gonna clean this one out. Yeah, this one's like virtually new. It's just got a little bit of dirt in it. Usually they're brown and black. This one's actually white all the way through. So this one we're gonna blow out and put it back in since the parts store decided to, I don't know how they do this. I didn't give him a VIN number though, so that's my fault. You win with the VIN, people. Give your parts people the VIN number, and if they screw it up, then you slap them in the face. But this one should be it, but I guess not. It should be the bigger one. Well, Fart Krispies. Hope the air filter's right. Freaking rag. The air filter looks brand new. So let's get to the oil. We find ourselves in a right front wheel well. McPherson strut, no leak. ABS sensor looks good. Hopefully in the wheel bearing. I'm gonna give it a good shake down. You can see the drive belt from down here. Check for all the fender clips. You see in my previous videos, when these clips fall out, air will get behind these plastic liners and start to rub on the tire. You'll get some crazy flappy noises. You'll get all kinds of craziness. It's another thing you should check. And as always, once again, we have OEM Honda filter. Always put OEM filters on. And we got some Castrol Edge. Where is it? It's on the edge. No, great oil. I've been using it for years. Let's get the filter off. Let's get the drain bolt loose. Let's get that stuff dripping down. Get the oil out. Lickety splam bam. Let me grab my 17 and my filter wrench. So these can like fit up in some of the Hondas, and they can get in there and just enough to where you can start the oil filter. You can just one-hander and get her off. I say that and I'm like, oh, maybe not. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. Drippity drip drip, drippity drip drip. Make sure you oil your rim there. Some new motor oil there. Wipe you down. Polish it so it looks brand new. Does he have the ninja skill? Yes, he does. Does he have the ninja Honda drain bolt skills? I think he does, people. Oh! That's how you do it. Yeah. You see it? Yeah. It's all about speed. Finesse. So, one thing that I can confidently say, I would say, this is probably a fair estimate. 80% of places that you take your car, if not more, do not check the spare tire pressure. I try to teach every person I trained to do this thing. Usually the only ones that I caught that had air in them were cars that had come to me before. And they still held air in there. But I guarantee you, watch, I will check this one. This is a fairly new car. I bet you it is low. I'm gonna guess it's supposed to have 60 in it. I bet you it's got, am I feeling it? Probably 40 something. So if you want to really test your service place, you get your car done, check their little inspection sheet, and I bet you it'll say they checked the spare tire. And then I would call them out on it. Okay, so we've got, I was close, 30. Check that out. Yeah, so 31. So half the air that needs to be in there is in the spare. Get on in there. So I put about 60, 65 in there because nobody does it. You want to piss off a customer and never see them again? Don't put air in their spare tire and have them break down after you spend a bunch of money. Yeah. If you're doing a service, check all the tires, all 5, not just the 4. Because the one day you need it, it's going to have 10 pounds in it and it's not going to get you much farther than the other car. But yeah. Okay, we are on our way over to look at a Mini down the street. Quick diagnosis. It's not going into drive. So we're gonna go check it, see what's going on with it, as I'm on my way to Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight! I'm next to Harbor Freight! Can't do that, it's copyright stuff. Harbor Freight! We have somebody come by to buy some parts, so we're started back up. Let's see what we can make off this Porsche. So she's coming by to get the hood, I believe the front bumper Possibly, well, he's gonna get the whole side, the whole body kit, because I'm selling it as one piece, so he's gonna get the whole body kit, hopefully. But in the hood, so I'm gonna take all that stuff off and watch that process right now. So we are finally to the brake fluid flushing of this operation here. And I got a cool new tool I ran out and got yesterday because I was like, you know what? I used to have one of these back in the day. I think I just gave it away or it wore out or something, but boom! That's right. Harbor Freight did it again. Dude, this thing was 99 bucks. This is how it comes. This is the Holt Industries, I guess. It comes with a filler, which I don't really use that crap. I used to use the bottle. I mean, I guess I might use it. Let's try it. You know what? Don't knock it till you try it, right? So let me just try it. So you put your fluid in here and you clamp this on top of the master cylinder, and then it puts fluid in as you, say if you're by yourself, it's perfect because then you could be back there bleeding the brakes and not have to run back up here every 5 minutes and fill up the fluid. But yeah, this thing's cool. I've never used it, so you guys are gonna use it here with me. I just put my air fittings on there and hooked it all up. It's got this sweet little straw thing that helps you suck out the reservoir. And then it comes with a bunch of little bleeder attachments. So you can put these on for like the bleeder screws on the calipers. So I like this thing already just because it's got fancy. You can just pour it out easy. You don't have to take this off to empty it. It's got quick disconnect. It's got a little place to stick your little extra thing when you're not using it. Just go ahead and fire this thing up and suck it down here. It should be like almost clear. So you'll see when we get done with this, it'll be pretty much clear when we get done sucking it out. You want to get as much as you can get out of inside the master cylinder. Stuff has been settled in there. You can see back there, there's still fluid in the back corner. And that'll get sucked through the system when we go down to each caliper and suck each caliper. For now, let's go ahead and I like to clean this little screen out. You can use brake cleaner. I'll just wipe this one out, it's not that bad. They get too yucky and grungy and gungy, just take some brake cleaner, shoot it out. Yeah, so we're gonna see. Let's make sure it fits on there first before I go. I mean, it kinda, this is the problem with these things. They don't really fit because there's too much crap in the way. So, I mean, they're great ideas on some cars, but I ain't really, blah. So don't ever use brake fluid that you have opened up that's sitting on the freaking counter for months. You always want to freshly open brake fluid. Reason why, it will pull moisture from the air, right? So it'll just go bad sitting on your shelf. I mean, you could put a cap on it, but over time it goes bad very fast. You want to use it quite readily because it's going to just start pulling moisture. As soon as you crack that top, it's going to start pulling moisture out of the air. You don't realize how much moisture is in the air. So I'm going to fill this up to the top. And then I'm going to go the very far back right caliper. Now, most cars, you bleed the cars from the back right caliper. Most cars. Like the majority of the cars on the planet. And the theory is you're going to the farthest brake line away from the master cylinder, right? So obviously it would be that back right corner. Unless your master cylinder is on the front right, then it would be the back left. See how that works? Yeah. Or it'll tell you in the service manual if it's, you know, if you have like a crazy exotic, I would definitely look it up because some cars you don't start from the back, some start from the front, some start from the side, depending on how their ABS system is set up. So make sure you just do a little bit of dabbling. I mean, like Honda Civics, anything like that, any Honda, you're not gonna have a problem with it. But there are some cars that you don't do the typical. All right, so we're going to swap tips here. All right, we're at the back right wheel. We have the nipple on there, the wrench on there, 10mm on the bleeder. This thing's actually super tight, man. Rev, grab that rag. Bring it here. Give me that rag. Bring it. Yeah, good boy. Thank you. Sometimes you need your puppy to bring you a rag. All right, so it may drip a little, but we're gonna break this thing loose and check her out, see how she works. We definitely got all the dirty stuff that was still in the reservoir. You want to get all this stuff out of line. So I like this to be super clear. So we got about... Oh shit. See the Honda leaving? Honda's going bye-bye. Got that thing back in the road. Did the brake fluid. Cleaned out those filters. Did oil change. Reset all the maintenance lights. That sucker's back down the road for another bazillion miles, because you know, it's a Honda. Smack that like, do that one. Like it if you like it. If you don't like it, don't scrap it. But please subscribe, and it helps us out. We're trying to get this thing monetized. We're almost there, folks. Thanks so much for stopping by. Remember, kick some ass.